Hello and welcome to Houffalize in Belgium, otherwise known as the classic of mountain bike racing. My name is Mark Biesiegel and I'll be taking you through today's racing here in the Ardennes region of Belgium. This is the Tissot UCI sponsored Mountain Bike World Cup. We spoke to the technical delegate of the UCI, Christophe Bury, who explained to us why they were holding the time trial for this year. A new innovation for 2001. Both the men and women, all of the people taking part in the cross-country racing, having to take part in the time trials. This determines the grid for the Sunday's racing. Now, in the women's field, we saw Margarita Fuyana Riera. She dominated the time trial. She came home with a time of 27 minutes and 30 seconds for this 7.7 kilometre course. The second place rider, the woman you're seeing in your picture just then, was Annabella Stroparo, the B1 rider. She was in second spot in the women's time trial. In first spot was this man in your picture wearing the yellow jersey of time trial leader, Marco Buet, the Italian rider. He was followed home very closely by Roland Green, the Canadian Trek VW rider, but it was Buet who was the first rider on the grid in the men's race, and it was the first rider on the grid in the women's race. It was Margarita Fuyana. Now, the women's race, 4 laps of this course, 7.7 kilometres. Wearing the number 1 plate, Barbara Blatter, number 2 plate, Alison Dunlop. Going through the riders there, you'll see Fuyana, by dint of her win in Sarantino last week, she was first there. All of the top riders here, Caroline Alexander, the British rider, wearing plate number 6. And in fact, of course, I have mentioned it here on the World Cup before, that riders now actually having their names on the plates of their bikes. First top 20, I believe, of these riders having their names, and they also have their numbers on their backs as well. But these riders are very warm today. It's hot here in Houffalize in Belgium, in the Ardennes region of Belgium. That's southern Belgium, quite near the Luxembourg border. And already Margarita Fuyana going to the front. She dominated the race last week in Sarantino. Boy, what a performance that was. That was a second win there in Sarantino, and she's actually going for her 3rd win here in Houffalize. She's won last year in 2000. She won in 1999. That was her 3rd ever World Cup win. But she will have to take on this woman, Barbara Blatter, the woman who is wearing the leader's jersey in the World Cup. She won at the first round in Napa. She was second last week in Sarantino, being followed very closely down the Fosse Doute. That is one of the major descents here in Houffalize by Alison Dunlap, the GT rider. Annabella Stroparo going through your picture now. B1 rider, used to ride for Volvo Cannondale, of course. Annabella had a poor season last year, left the Volvo Cannondale team, back with B1 this year, and riding out of her skin, should I say, so far. But Barbara Blatter had a great season last season. She was first overall in the World Cup, but she's going to have to chase this woman, Margarita Fuyana. Riding for the Specialized team, but she does actually have a very personal sponsor, Spanish sponsor, the Telefonica Group. They sponsor just her alone, whereas her teammate, Barbara Blatter, is her teammate on the Specialized team, and indeed Caroline Alexander. They ride just for Specialized. So, Fuyana going through after 1 lap in just about 26 minutes, with Annabella Stroparo coming home in second spot at the moment, with Barbara Blatter 3rd, Dunlap 4th, Le Boucher 5th, and Caroline Alexander 6th. My goodness me, what a difference this woman has made to the World Cup. The Spanish rider used to be a road pro, unlike this woman Blatter, who takes on water at the feed zone on one of the steepest climbs on this circuit. 1 kilometre long, that climb, very, very difficult. But Fuyana is such an impressive performer when she's going uphill. She's getting a lot better downhill. This is the descent on the Fosse Doute, being chased by Blatter, Annabella Stroparo, and Laurence Le Boucher, the former world champion from 1998 in Canada. She's in 4th spot at the moment, with Dunlap in 5th and Caroline Alexander. Wilma to her friends, otherwise known as Wilma. She's in 6th spot at the moment, but chasing these 2 women, Margarita Fuyana in 1st and Barbara Blatter in 2nd, the 2 Specialized riders. I'm certain that a lot of teamwork will come into this race today. They'll both want to win the race, but they'll both want to make sure that that woman in your picture, Annabella Stroparo, will not take the 1st spot. But Annabella's climbing so well at the moment, having a few problems here, just dabbing out there. just ahead of Laurence Leboucher and Alison Dunlap. Alison's such a consistent performer. Hasn't actually won here in Houffalize, but if you look at her record last year, she didn't finish lower than 5th spot in the year 2000. In the year 2000, should I say. She came 2nd overall in the World Cup. Unfortunately for Alison, she didn't actually win a round, but this woman did. Barbara Blatter, she won the World Cup last year, and she won 3 races, just like Margherita Fujana. But Fujana, she has a problem. She doesn't like flying, so she doesn't do all of the World Cup. And as you can see, after 2 laps, it's Fujana still in the lead and climbing out of her skin. So smooth. Coached by, of course, Gert-Jan Tenisa, the former Tour de France King of the Mountains jersey holder. Won that back in the 80s, I believe, late 80s. I don't remember exactly, maybe 87, 88. But Margherita, she's so fluid when she's climbing. So fluid. Different style from Barbara Blatter, different from Annabella as well. Barbara, more strength involved there. Annabella swaying slightly, nowhere near as fluid as Margherita. But still on that little section there, you saw that Margherita wasn't quite as mountain bike friendly as some of these girls on the circuit. Not technically as efficient as people like Alison Seid or indeed Dunlap or Paola Pezzo, of course, who isn't racing this year. There you see it there. The lack of fluidity. Trains a lot on the road as Margherita, but just slightly dabbing out there. Nothing too much to worry her there, but she comes over the line after 3 laps and looking so composed. A time of 1:21.42. Blatter over a minute down, almost a minute and a half, with Stroparo a minute and a half down in 3rd spot at the moment, with Dunlap in 4th, with just 1 lap to go now. Now, will Blatter try and chase her teammate down? It looks like Dunlap has overtaken Annabella Stroparo. That is brilliant riding from the American. She is so consistent. I didn't think she'd be able to catch Annabella, but she has done that, and usually when she does catch people, Alison makes it stick. But I don't think she's going to catch this woman, Margherita Fujana Riera. Margherita has won here before, twice before, 1999 and the year 2000, and she is going to win here in the year 2001. What a brilliant ride from the reigning world champion. Superb stuff from Margherita Fujana. Her 3rd win on the trot here in Houffalize. Her 2nd win on the trot in the year 2001. What a great ride. Well, there you have confirmation of the result. Fujana 1st, Blatter 2nd, Dunlap 3rd, Stroparo 4th, Leboucher 5th, with Caroline Alexander 6th spot. And this is the Spaniard herself saying that she really likes the course here in Houffalize, and that her plan was to basically work at her own rhythm from the start to the finish. And she says that every year she learns something different, and she learns a little bit more about the technique. But it's Barbara Blatter who is leading in the World Cup. Great riding from her. So we move smoothly and swiftly onto the men's race. 4 laps of this Houffalize course in southern Belgium. Conditions absolutely perfect, hot, sunny and dry. 5 laps, 38.5 kilometres, 7.7 kilometres per lap, and it's José Antonio Hermida who's wearing the number 1 plate. Marco Bouet, the number 2. Miguel Martinez, the number 3. Going down the list there, Philip Meerhager, the home favourite who won here last year. He's wearing the plate of number 9, although he's got his name on the front of his plate. There you saw a great shot of Philippe right in the centre of the starting grid. And these men, as I always say, starting so fast here. Miguel Martinez dabbing out there on the corner. Just look at the speed of these guys. Goodness me, this is so good to watch. Miguel Martinez, the Olympic champion from last year, the World Cup champion from last year, and indeed the world champion from last year. Leading out here, little Mig. What a powerhouse he is. And they go straight onto the climb, straight out of the village here. The city centre here, should I say village, city centre? It's a town really, I don't know. But look at that, what a great shot. 165 riders here at Houffalize, going down the Vosduit descent here. This descent always catches a lot of people out. Bad Van Dooren going through. Miguel Martinez, Bart Brent Jens there. Cadel Evans, the former winner of the World Cup. That's Julian Absalon there, and indeed José Antonio Hermida wearing the leader's jersey of the World Cup. And we go straight to the front of the race now, and it looks like Specialized rider Bad Van Dooren has taken the lead along with Roland Green, the man who was second last week in Sarantino. And as you can see, the fans here are absolutely brilliant. They really do come out in their thousands to watch the racing here in Houffalize, and Bad Van Dooren not coping with the ascent as well as Roland Green, the Trek VW rider. Roland, of course, used to ride for GT, now riding for Trek VW, being chased by Bart Brent Jens there. José Antonio Hermida climbing well also, wearing that leader's jersey, spurring him on. Cadell Evans, the Volvo Pro. Number 2, Marco Bue. Martinez, the full dynamics rider, chasing behind. I'm sure that won't last for long because Miguel usually likes to go straight to the front, but Roland Green really is riding out of his skin now. He had such a good race last week in Sarantino when he was just out-sprinted at the end by Miguel Martinez. But indeed, I think if you see the coverage of that race in Sarantino, you'll see that actually Martinez used his brain there, as he is doing now, going straight past Bart Brent Jens. My word, he's got a good racing brain on him. But Roland, I think, was actually slightly outsmarted there in Sarantino. Miguel Martinez knew that to win in Sarantino, you had to get to the front in the last kilometre because there were a lot of twists and turns, and he did that very well indeed. And as I've said, he's got to the front of this chasing pack. They are chasing Bad Van Dooren, the Specialized rider, and Roland Green, the man at the front there. Another Belgian going through your picture there, Roel Paulison. As we see Roland Green and Bad Van Dooren being chased by Hermida, José Antonio Hermida, who's just a second down at that stage, with Bue and rider Heschedel coming through the start-finish area in 6th and 7th, and it looks like Roland Green and Bad Van Dooren climbing well here. Different styles, of course, and Hermida chasing up to that group. Wants to get on the back of them, and both of them looking round in unison. Bad Van Dooren and Roland Green. Bass out of the saddle. Roland, smooth, calm, arms wide, looking very, very strong. This guy is big for a mountain biker, but it's good to see him right there up at the front. This is the chasing group. Dario Acquaroli on your right, the Italian national champion. On his right, Miguel Martinez, the world champion and third place rider at the moment in the World Cup. But they are chasing these two riders, Bad Van Dooren and Roland Green. It's going to be a tough job. This course goes up and down. It's incessant. And it looks like Bass has made a break for it from Roland Green. And I think Roland has been joined by José Antonio Hermida, the under-23 world champion from last year. He won that in Sierra Nevada, and what a ride that was. Absolutely superb. 3 minutes 42 in front of another Spanish rider, and Kashi Loix, the New Zealander who was third that day. But Roland Green chasing hard now with Jose. Good shot here. Good technique from Green. Jose not quite coping with the climb. Don't know whether you'll remember the footage from last year, but it was there that Philip Meerhager was being egged on by the crowd, but it looks like Green has dropped Jose. He has now got onto the coattails of Bad Van Dooren. Bass is a superb climber, but I would put my money on Roland Green on the descents. He's really, really swift when it comes to descending, as you can see now. Jose, he's no slouch himself, of course. Won his first ever World Cup race in the first round of the World Cup this year in Napa Valley. Just 8 seconds in front of Mark Hanisch. How close has this men's World Cup been? And it looks like Miguel Martinez now trying to get onto the coattails of Jose Antonio. Bass and Roland at the front, with these two riders going through there in third and fourth spots, just about 3 or 4 seconds down on those lead two riders. And this is Philip Meerhager, the guy who won here last year. Looking like he's having a few problems. I don't know whether it's technical, but it certainly looks like Philippe is not on song today. But these two guys are looking very smooth indeed. But Jose in the saddle. Miguel looking slightly uncomfortable. He's not actually looking as smooth as he usually does. When Martinez is on song, he is on anybody's tail, almost an inch or a centimetre behind them. But it looks like Green now has dropped Bad Van Dooren. I said that he was looking better on the descents, and indeed it does look that way. Bass being dropped. He's now only about 20 metres in front of Hermida, with Miguel Martinez about 10 metres behind him. Roland Green making the break for it now. Really has got a wide style when he climbs, hasn't he? Arms out akimbo. All that strength, all that soccer playing when he was younger. Oh, and Bad Van Dooren again having problems at the same spot on that climb. Just out of the camping area here and there you have a shake of the head from Martinez. Shake of the head from Martinez as we see Michael Rasmussen also having difficulties at the same spot that Bad Van Dooren has had on at least 2 laps of this race so far. Well, this man Roland Green not having any problems at the moment. He really did come on song last year when he got that 2nd spot at the World Championships behind Martinez. Just look at the technique downhill. Moving over the bike, just moving with it smoothly, letting the bike do the work and letting it take him down the hill. Riding the curves and the bumps. Different techniques from Bas and Jose and Miguel. Miguel always busy. Busy. But Bad Van Dooren, he's got Hermida on his tail. Miguel Martinez only 5 metres down now. They're practically together, but they're going to chase hard. This man, Roland Green, the Canadian, can he make it a North American win as we go back to the 5th place rider, I think that is, Thomas Frischknecht, the man who missed the first round of the World Cup this year because of a broken left hand. Had to have surgery on that, Thomas, but what a star is Thomas Frischknecht. 17 World Cup wins. He was 16th in Sarantino, obviously getting back to form. But will he do better here in Houffalize? Will he do better indeed as we see Roland Green looking round there, being chased by Hermida and Bad Van Dooren. And where is Martinez? There is Martinez. Oof, in trouble. So the leader at the moment, Roland Green, the Trek VW rider, being chased hard by Bad Van Dooren, having dropped José Antonio Hermida on that short section of the course between the climb and this descent. Wow, this race really is going up and down, much like the terrain, as we see Roland Green now, the Canadian who would love to make this a North American win. Do you realise that we haven't had a North American winner here on the World Cup since the finals of the World Cup in 1994 when Tinka Juarez won at Silver Star in Canada? My goodness me. It's about time we had a North American win. Indeed, about time we had a British win as well. As we see Michael Rasmussen going through this very far section of the course, being chased hard by Thomas Frischknecht and Bart Brent Jens, the 95 world champion, and Cadel Evans of Volvo Cannondale Pro. My word, this race is so fluid. Roland, who had his best result at Canmore last year in the 7th round of the World Cup. He was on home territory there, 3rd spot behind Cadel Evans. As we see Bad Van Dooren on the descent down into the finish area. And Roland Green going across the line now after 4 laps. Just 1 more lap to go. It looks like it could be a North American win for the first time in 7 years, but he's being chased hard by a Frenchman in 3rd spot, a Spaniard in 4th spot, and I do believe that Bad Van Dooren, the Dutchman, is still in 2nd. Well, the racing really has been very good here in Houffalize in Belgium, as we see Bad Van Dooren going across the line, just 57 seconds down, 58 seconds down on Roland Green, with Hermida in 3rd, Martinez 4th, Rasmussen 5th, and Thomas Frischknecht in 6th. Going down through the picture, Bart Brenjan's in 7th, as we see Roland Green up the long climb for the last time. Look at him working hard. Out of the saddle, breathing hard. Great shot there of Roland. The crowd's egging him on now. He really has been riding very well. He started the season with a 3rd at the Redlands Classic on the road. That was a road stage race. Won 2 stages on that stage race, 2 time trials. He then came 2nd in the Sea Otter Classic behind Bart Brent Jens. 11th at Napa. He was disappointed with that, as we see Bad Van Dooren going through the picture, being chased by Hermida, and then it was 2nd at Sarantino. Oh, and that's not very sportsmanlike, is it? As we see Miguel Martinez and Thomas Frischneck going through your picture there, I do believe that the Belgian crowd booing the Frenchman, and I'll tell you why, basically because he beat their very own Philippe Mierhager in the Olympics for the gold medal. Roland Green, the Trek VW rider, has looked so good today here in Houffalize. This is the classic on the mountain bike circuit, probably along with Mont St. Anne in Canada. But Roland taking it easy down the descent there, just raises his fist there, realizes that barring a mishap now, any kind of unfortunate circumstance, it looks like he will take his first ever World Cup win. Bad Van Dooren has won before. He won his second race last year at Napa Valley in California, won his first race the year before in Plymouth. What a race that was. Rode away from the rest of the group. Great day it was there, similar to this, very sunny. But we go back to the man in the lead at the moment, Roland Green, the Canadian from Victoria, British Columbia. Now riding for Trek VW. They will be very pleased indeed to have their man on this team. He rides along with Alison Seidel on the women's section. But Roland Green coming into the start-finish area now, raises his fist for the second time. This will be a fabulous win for the Canadian. My word, the first time since 1994 that a North American has won. And what a brilliant win for Roland Green. I think he's happy about that, isn't he? Goodness me. The big man from Victoria. Coming home in second spot, Bad Van Dooren, equally as happy there. Nod of the head. Well done, Bas. Great guy, Bas. Been training with Margarita Fiona in Mallorca, in the hometown of Mallorca, as we see José Antonio Hermida coming across in third spot. My word, that's to add to his first at Napa Valley and sixth at Sarantino. And he blows his cheeks. There you have confirmation of that. Green, Van Dooren, Hermida, Martinez fourth, Frischneck in fifth. Goodness me, and Bart Brentjens in sixth. And the ever-happy José Antonio.
Today felt really good.
Congratulations.
Right from the beginning, and went with the first move. And then as the race went on, it was just a lot of help from my bike. I rode my full suspension today. And each time in the downhill, just taking time back and saving my body. And last lap, I felt great. And a lot of that definitely has to do with the bike. So pretty happy with the equipment support at Trek and how this trip in Europe's gone, the weather and everything today. It's been great. I was with Bas at the beginning of the race. He was definitely climbing faster. So I was having a bit of trouble there in the second lap, just holding his wheels on the climb. But once we got to the downhills, I was just had that bike really working for me. And then about halfway through the third lap, I felt my second wind come. I felt really good after that. From 3.5 laps on, legs felt really good.
Today was a big war from the beginning to the finish. And middle of the race, I had a problem with my rear derailleur. And yeah, then I got to adjust my derailleur, rear derailleur, and then I start to attack to the maximum to catch Bas and keep the leader jersey. But yeah, I think today was a really good result for me because from the beginning of the World Cups, I've been in top 10 always, and that's a good result for me.
So, José Antonio Hermida, he gets the third spot today, but this man got the first, and he gets the leader's jersey by 6 points from Hermida, with Martinez still in third. Van Dooren moves up to fourth, Brentjens fifth, and Marco Bui in sixth. Thank you for joining me, Mark Bicycle, for the third round of the Tissot UCI-sponsored World Cup. Goodbye from Houffalize.